Hello, and welcome back to the great world of Eden of the East. On November 22, 2010, Japan was hit by missile strikes, known as Careless Monday. During her graduation trip to America, Saki Morini meets Akira Takizawa, who saves her. Akira, suffering from amnesia and carrying around a strange cell phone, involves Saki in a dangerous game to save the world. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. Morini Saki, a recent college graduate, is on a trip to New York City, but decides to take a detour to Washington, D.C. to see the White House. Feeling a bit let down but determined, she tries to throw money into the White House fountain, but her throw misses, catching the attention of nearby police officers.
Why are you running?
To her surprise, a naked man with a gun and a cell phone distracts the officers and disappears when a truck passes by. Average homeless American going through a midlife crisis. Shocked but grateful, Saki gives him her hat, scarf, and coat. They go their separate ways, but the man has no memory of who he is. His cell phone connects him to a woman named Jules, who tells him his memory was erased and directs him to an apartment building. In the apartment, he finds guns, ammunition, and multiple passports with his picture, along with photos of him with a group of naked men. Unsure if he's a terrorist, he is interrupted by Saki, who returns to retrieve her passport from her coat. He finds it and decides to use one of the fake passports, adopting the name Takizawa Akira. As they prepare to leave together, they encounter a female police officer with surveillance photos. To prove he is the man in the picture, Akira pulls down his pants, convincing her to let them go. He decides to join Saki on her flight back to Japan, and they head to the airport. His passport is valid, and he gets a plane ticket with help from the Japanese embassy. While heading to the gate, Saki asks Akira why he was naked at the White House, so he jokes that he's a terrorist, but then says it's a game international students play. "I'm not so sure about that, my guy." Saki explains her reason for visiting D.C., thinking it was the center of the world, but realizes it doesn't matter to them. They formally introduce themselves and find out they were born a day apart, just before the Heisei period. As Saki starts to like Akira more, they see news of a missile attack on Tokyo. As their plane from Washington, D.C. flies over Tokyo, Akira notices the ruins from the missile attack and the craters from the earlier Careless Monday incident. When they land, Saki sees messages saying she'll miss her job interview. The airport is crowded because the missile attack caused a plane crash, leaving only 2 child survivors. Saki is shocked since Careless Monday had no deaths, so Akira asks why, but her phone interrupts with a call from her friends, who are stuck in traffic. Akira's phone rings, and Jules tells him he's within the Selikao system's range. He's confused, so Jules reminds him of his 8.2 billion yen and promises to fulfill his requests. Akira asks her to speed up their airport exit, and Jules arranges an escort past immigration. Meanwhile, someone with a similar phone monitors his transactions, including the bribe to the official. Still, Akira and Saki leave the airport smoothly, mistaken for celebrities. She invites him for tea, so he reveals that he has memory loss. He decides to visit the address on his passport and parts with Saki, but returns shortly lost. They take the monorail together, and she notes that his address is near a missile crater, possibly destroyed. Akira asks about Careless Monday, learning it involved 11 missiles with unknown motives. At the train station, a man with a similar phone checks Akira's ID, pretending to be police. By late afternoon, Akira and Saki wait for a ferry as she tells him that she's graduating and looking for a job through her brother-in-law, having lost her parents. Akira recalls a memory of his mother before the ferry arrives. He invites Saki along, and she joins him. On board, they discuss her New York trip, and he recognizes landmarks from movies, after which they take a picture by the missile ruins. Meanwhile, Detective Kondo reviews Akira's purchases and deals with debt collectors.
Here it comes.
By ordering their deaths, further reducing his balance but remaining focused on Akira. Akira and Saki arrive at the dock near Akira's supposed home, finding the area empty except for some homeless people and a few cars. They follow the address to a locked commercial building, which Akira opens with a key. Inside, they find a warehouse space and are surprised by a shadow, which turns out to be a dog with wings that recognizes Akira and leads them further in. The building is actually a shopping mall, and Akira realizes it's the same place from the photo of the naked men as the dog leads them to a room above the cinema complex, and Saki guesses Akira was the manager. From there, they see the smoke from the missile strike. Akira asks Saki about her favorite movies and offers to show her one, so she mentions a French film. With Juice's help, Akira sets up the movie but notices a police boat outside. Kondu is walking around the mall, suspecting Akira is responsible for the disappearance of the NEETs before finding him in the projection room. He orders Akira to hand over his phone, explaining they both started with 10 billion yen to save the country. Akira is too weak to resist, but Kondu spares Saki and warns them that a supporter will kill them if their phone balance reaches zero. After Kondu leaves, Akira wakes up and decides to contact him, having stolen his police badge. Meanwhile, Kondu is stabbed by his wife, Misa, over a message intended for his mistress. "All right, you unfaithful bastards. This is your opportunity to learn a lesson." Akira finds Kondu dying, who reveals the Selikao game involving 12 participants, and suspects Akira tried to kill 20,000 NEETs, but advises him to use his phone to learn more about the others. He returns Akira's phone and urges him to disappear. As police sirens approach, Kondu remembers how he once searched for justice. Saki arrives home at her sister's bakery in the morning and is greeted by her brother-in-law. Ryusuke asks about her job interview, and although she's unsure, he's relieved she's safe. Meanwhile, Akira calls Juice to ask if he killed the 20,000 NEETs, but she can't confirm it and only knows he gathered them, and explains that the supporter is one of the 12 Selikao responsible for eliminating unfit members. Frustrated, Akira decides to check Selikao No. 5's purchase history with Juice's help, using a medical delivery as a clue, and rides his motorcycle to a missile impact site where he apparently jumped.
No!
But he realizes he didn't. Back at Saki's home, she lies to Usuji about where she was and plans to retry her interview. Akira arrives at Hira General Hospital, asking about an MRI purchase, so the receptionist directs him to the hospital director and he leaves his number, identifying himself as Selikao. In a Tokyo hotel, a woman wakes up to find a dead body in the bathroom. As a Selikao, she calls Juice to silently handle the situation. Meanwhile, on the street, a man recognizes Akira and angrily accuses him of abandoning them in the desert. Shiratori has Usuji tied up in her hotel room, threatening him with a cigar cutter until she's interrupted by a call and has to leave. Unaware of this, Saki goes to Michin's place with Akira and informs her sister she won't be coming home to avoid Ryusuke. Her sister isn't pleased, but Ryusuke suggests giving Saki space. She tries to contact Usuji but is interrupted by Michin, who asks for a change of clothes. The next day, Saki updates her Eden of the East friends about Akira and his plans to support them. Hirasawa is doubtful, while Michan is interested, and they decide to visit Akira to assess him. As they leave, Kasuga tells Hirasawa about his dinner with Usuji, suspecting he saw Akira and Saki together before disappearing. They want to include Usuji, a founding member, so he sends Kasuga to find him. At the shopping mall, Saki's friends admire the place and its items, but Hirasawa is curious about a restricted area. Before exploring it, they visit Akira's room and he's surprised by music blaring across the mall as Akira arrives on a mechanical bear to greet them. Once settled, Hirasawa questions Akira's intentions and his feelings towards Saki, so he jokingly remarks that Saki shouldn't work for men who spill Juden on her, introduces Eden of the East, an image recognition program created by Michin. Akira proposes a business idea, explaining how their recycling community has evolved and its impact. Hirasawa hesitates due to Eden of the East's reputation as a haven for NEETs and internal jealousy, but Akira persuades them to join his mission, and Saki eagerly agrees. Later, he picks out new clothes for Saki, and they organize a fireworks display. During the celebration, Hirasawa learns from Kasuga about Usuji potentially being targeted by a woman hunting Johnnies, who has thousands of victims posted online. Akira hears from Kasuga about the Johnny Hunter mention of a mysterious message board, who is rumored to have harmed 20,000 people. This surprises Akira, as he wonders if this figure might be confused with the 20,000 NETs he ran into. Kasuga tells him about Osuji's plans for dinner with Saki, which upsets her, and when the distressed person posts a picture of a piano, they use Eden's image search to learn more. Akira realizes the severity of the situation when the person mentions someone named Jews. Determined, Akira sets off to find Usuji alone, using Jews to trace the piano's location to a specific hotel where Shiratori Diana Kuroa, a president of a modeling agency, is staying. A police officer stops Shiratori, suspecting Nine's involvement, so she causes a truck to crash near Akira's motorcycle. Despite being injured, Akira calls Saki to update her on Usuji's whereabouts as he heads to the hotel. Despite Shiratori's efforts to buy the hotel, Akira arrives in time to prevent her from harming Usuji with a cigar cutter. Surprised by her beauty, Akira questions her role as a Johnny Hunter, so she denies being the supporter and explains her mission to rid the world of men who mistreat women. Akira sympathizes with her, suspecting she has suffered trauma and lacked love in her life hearing, which she begins to undress, suggesting she wants to give Akira a chance. It should have been me and up to him, but he collapses from his injuries. Saki, listening through Akira's phone, rushes to find him in bed next to Shiratori, who assures her nothing inappropriate happened and uses Ju's power to levitate her captive and escapes with the alleged rapist, revealing her intention to eliminate him. Saki comforts Akira, worried about his condition while, on Akira's cell phone, Selikao No. 11's purchase history shows a super illusion. After having a disturbing dream about Shiratori harming someone, Akira wakes up at home with Saki comforting him. She assures Akira that Usuji is safe and that she didn't see anyone else at the hotel. At the Eden Club room, Usuji returns and explains he lost his bag, which ended up with the person who encountered the Johnny Hunter. Despite this, Usuji is wary of Akira, declaring that he won't participate if they team up with him. Leaving through a walkway, he spots Saki and Akira arriving together below and becomes frustrated, so he tries to find Akira on Eden of the East, posting a photo asking for his real identity. Back at the Eden Club room, Akira learns that Shiratori paid to destroy evidence and obstruct police investigations. Despite others wanting to discuss recent events, he shifts the conversation to more practical matters. Interested in uncovering his own history, he asked about repairing the phone he got from Kondo, and Saki remembers Itazu, a man in Kyoto who might be able to help. Akira, Mikshin, and Saki head to Kyoto. During the train ride, Saki and Mikshin recount Itazu's weird story of withdrawing from society after losing his trousers to the wind and developing a computer to predict societal movements. Arriving at Itazu's house, they find him reluctant to open up until Akira reveals his status as a Selikao. Meanwhile, Usuji investigates Akira's mall and contacts Hirasawa about his suspicions but learns that Saki is with Akira in Kyoto. Akira shows off the Selikao's power by successfully negotiating a baseball trade with Itazu, persuading him to cooperate. Itazu then takes Akira to a room filled with computers and begins hacking into Kondo's old phone, remarking that he's interested in understanding Careless Monday and seeking justice for the disappeared NETs. He finds out about Akira's transactions from his Akira stays behind as Saki and Mikshin head back to Tokyo. Mononobe, knowing he hasn't regained his memories, reveals his plan to win the Selikao game in Harima's academic city and invites Akira to join. Before Akira can answer, Saki calls and asks about his special phone and the woman from the hotel. Unsure about his identity, Akira lets Saki listen in as he talks with Mononobe, warning her to forget him if he turns out to be a criminal. During their helicopter ride, Mononobe explains that Akira's erased memories and aliases are linked to ATO's president, Atusezu, Mr. Outside, a post-World War II figure who wanted to reshape Japan despite his terminal illness. Mononobe suspects Atu might already be dead and wants to replace him. At ATO, Harima Neuroscience Institute, he says he left his government job after learning Atu's identity, joined ATO, and teamed up with Yuki, who launched the missile attacks. Inside, they meet Yuki and order champagne from Jews. Mononobe reveals plans for another missile strike by No. 10 for societal change, which Yuki defends as a critique of societal inequalities. Despite their reasoning, Akira opposes their methods, recalling his stance before memory loss. Yuki plans to explain why Akira's memories were erased, citing betrayal by those he helped. In Tokyo, Hirasawa discovers Itazu's uploaded data, revealing details about the missile attacks before a disturbance occurs at Akira's shopping mall, where hundreds of NETs emerge from a docked ship. Twitter's users are like, "Finally, my time has come." Saki confides her guilt and despair to Mikshin, feeling responsible like those who betrayed Akira during the missile crisis. Meanwhile, Mononome lets Akira leave the facility. A receptionist who sounds like Jews delivers an empty champagne bottle, signaling no celebration. Mononome checks his phone and discovers Jews has been moved by Selicomp No. 12 to a secret location, sparking suspicion that No. 12 could be the supporter or Mr. Outside. On her way back to the mall, Saki calls Hirasawa to share information about Akira, explaining that she and Mikshin want him to check the data Itazu sent, but Hirasawa is busy with the NETs who are taking their old cell phones. Seki explains that Akira recruited people online to help with evacuations. However, those saved became suspicious of how he knew about the missile attack. To protect them, Akira took the blame for the attack and sent the NETs to Dubai and erased his memory since he was feeling betrayed. Saki suggests posting the target locations online to prevent the new missile strike, but the laptop with the information was left with the NETs, so Kasuga says they should infiltrate the NETs by having the guys stripped naked. They get close to the group holding the laptop, and Hirasawa grabs it and runs when the NETs become suspicious. The NETs chase him, and he throws the laptop to Usuji before being caught. Meanwhile, Saki and Mikshin arrive, running into a naked Usuji, and discover one of the targets is Toyosu where they are. Before they can act, Akira broadcasts a video message warning of another missile attack and telling everyone to go to the mall's rooftop to survive. The stairwell becomes jammed with naked NETs, so Saki and the others try the elevator. Then NETs block the doors, but Akira arrives, saves Usuji, and pushes the NETs out. Saki stops Akira, suspecting he's there to save everyone, and extends her hand. So Akira takes it, pulling her to the amusement park area above the mall. He orders the NETs to post ideas for shooting down the missiles on the Eden of the East site as fighter jets launch interceptor missiles and the attack missiles fly in. Throughout Japan, attack missiles are shot down in midair. At the shopping mall, one last missile heads toward Akira, so he blows it up but is thrown back by the debris. Akira is unhurt but worried when he sees Saki unconscious. She wakes up. Akira calls Jews, asking to become the king of Japan with the remaining money. After Saki regains consciousness, Akira slips his phone into her pocket as she remembers that this is how he became a prince in a country without a king. Thanks for joining us on today's journey. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and hit the bell to stay updated. Until next time, stay curious and don't get involved with NETs, because we all know how that turns out.